No, Bill. No. It goes well. It goes well. What?
Oh god, my Postmaster's out of space.
Woo!
I hate Ken. He got me to the stupid game again.
You guys are playing, huh?
We are.
Rocking out a little D2-ish.
No.
D2 before our gaming, yeah.
Ah.
Oh yeah. Someone waved. Okay. Get used to them in a new Discord channel.
Where are you at now, Bill? Did you, like, pummel across the Great Divide and beat all the shit out of the campaign for the most part by now?
Oh yeah, he did.
Sort of. I guess.
He's on the third mission, or he just beat the third mission, I should say.
Oh, did I? Okay.
Yeah.
Soon that will be me.
I believe you're on doing the third mission currently, or on it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's.
By the way, if you do the legendary campaign on the first character, the second character you level up like that much faster because you already have like the good stuff.
The good
This
stuff.
Seems like cheating.
It kind of feels like it.
It's okay. Cheating's okay.
No,
If Scott and Drew don't show up, maybe you can join us.
Right? Did they suspend, or did they say they weren't going to be here, or did I miss something?
Remember?
Not that I know of.
Right? I don't remember that either. I was like, I'm fully prepped. I'm ready to go.
You're fully turgid.
I'm locked and locked.
I'm rather engorged. Yes.
I am full. Oh, you could say it myself.
Yeah. I am pregnant with excitement.
Perganent.
Pregnant.
Pregante.
Yeah. It's like one of the best shit that I've ever seen online ever.
Oh, the relic tether. Nice. That was something they just added. That's nice. It's a little thing that you can see every element that you have.
Well, I guess since that pulse rifle's already done, so there we go, and
Yeah, Inky being good one.
yeah, they just throw this shit at you.
Organic and
Yeah.
it was great. I love that episode.
It was the best. The fact that it stuck in my head so damn hard. Where's the rest of the team? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, you saw Drew. He was like 1 hour.
Yeah,
early.
like I'm fully under the impression that shit's. Oh, here we go.
There's Scott. You're just getting antsy.
I was starting to have a certain level of concern, unwarranted though it may be.
So you were able to bring up your bullshit though, like your scenes and everything are okay.
I haven't had a chance to uninstall, reinstall. I did not want to play that game right before this.
You know what? I appreciate that.
God, yesterday's stream was so. It was so chopped up.
Yeah, I'm hoping you can figure. Did the thing work? The shadow play work? The like.
I haven't tried
bullshit
that
you
yet
did?
either because I had a bunch of boring work to do. My day job got in the way of that. I ran out of time.
That's all good. We can fuck with it after.
Yeah, well, because I want to deliver a Destiny 2 stream that doesn't look like hot turds.
It did look pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm surprised I got as many views as I did. The short clip at the end where I was basically it's like just troubleshooting, watch at your own risk, because it was basically like this is really dumb, so enjoy. That got more views in rapid, like, it was so weird. But speaking of that, we've hit like 20 followers now, so that's exciting.
That is exciting.
It is.
That is.
I appreciate everybody. Everybody.
Appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate you.
Now we're just listening to badass music and wondering what's going to happen next.
They're making me use it.
Oh yeah, thank you. I'm glad that Ken brought that up.
Don't worry, I got you.
Yeah.
I basically have like the chats like on a secondary window.
If it
always.
wasn't for your octopus brain, dude, because I'm like focused really in. How's it going, Scott? How's life?
It's going all right. I had a successful no meeting Thursday, so
Congratulations.
As with most jobs, it's very meeting heavy, right? Like to the point where some people just had meetings all day, every day, right?
Yep.
And so I was thinking to myself, man, I would love to take some time off, but I don't want to miss the meetings. So here's the long con. Just, flash backwards, or back, actually, I guess it's a flashback, to like 7 months ago or more. And I just casually bring up, it's like, hey, you know, we're always so busy. And we don't have enough time to just focus. So what if we try it out, no meeting Fridays? Like, what if you just don't do any meetings on Friday and just see how it feels? And people are like, okay, we can try that out. Yeah, let's try it out. And so the next few weeks, people are doing that, and it's like, yeah, how does that feel? It's like, it feels great. We get production done. You know, stuff's getting done on Friday.
Death by meeting,
then-
dude.
And
Ugh.
then fast forward a few months later,
Oh, hey!
I let that simmer for a little while, and then I was like, hey, by the way, I'm gonna take my PTO and just take the next few Fridays off in like next 2 months.
nice.
But I spaced it out so it wasn't like the people could make the connection there.
Yeah. My old job, we would have days where like I would literally back-to-back meetings from 7:30 in the morning until 5 o'clock at night, and
That sounds like so much fun. Makes me want to kill my soul.
And it was with probably 50% the same people. Like compliance and risk and legal and operations, like in one meeting, and then compliance, risk, legal in another meeting.
Compliance.
And then compliance, operations,
Compliance.
risk in another meeting. Like there'd just be, and I'm like, I could just sit in this room. Like the three of us could sit in this room and just like entertain guests. Like come in. Oh, now we're doing the policy meeting. Oh, come in, now we're doing the, patient care meeting. Like, just ridiculous.
Hero, Drew.
I mean, light is offensive. I need to change it.
What's funny is that your light's making the background work perfectly.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because it's allowing the entire background to function.
Here, I gotta get my
Oh,
front
right,
lighting so
yeah.
that my face gets all washed in. Oh, there it is. Yeah, you gotta have the mood lighting.
Nice.
Let me crack open my OneNote.
And Drew's just
What?
in sunlight now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drew.
Oh, the Drunken Friars.
So, last time was fun.
Last episode.
Last time.
Yeah,
And-
last time we were fighting some big bad monster, and we essentially were losing after Ivar had beefed it up substantially.
Oh, right.
And
The
then
nuclear option.
Yeah, the technocracy was bearing down on us, and now it's time.
This isn't the worst option.
time to run.
Get ready for the
You're
best
You're just
kind
not
of
gonna
awful.
like it.
Yeah.
This is just the best kind of awful.
Yeah, it's the best kind of awful.
D, I have a note to tell you that Riv and I had will rolls at the very end.
Yep, I wrote down that too.
I had a will roll of 0, and Riv had a will roll of 4.
Yep.
Right. And I remember what
Oh
that
my
was
God.
about too. Thank goodness.
So will essence check.
Yeah. So and sorry. Got this. Basically, it's just like we're gonna play a little bit of Shadows now. Like just.
Oh, speaking of, I need some water. I'll be right back. Hey bear, come again.
All right, so that sounded really funny in my headset. Boop, boop,
Yeah,
boop, boop.
isn't that great? Clover is running away from me.
Tis wonderful. All right, so Ivar got zip, Riv got 4. Did I have that
I
order
got
right?
4 successes, thankfully.
Yeah.
Actually, I believe Ivar had 32 successes.
Yeah.
God damn. I wish I would have remembered that.
It's
That was
recorded.
almost-
You
I
can-
think-
Just
you
quick
can go to
quick
the archive.
aside. That thing I sent you last night with the like fumble
Yeah.
success consequence thing. I wanna dig into that. I like that idea.
I would have to make
like-
that a specific kind of mechanic
Yeah,
for a like
for
maybe
dice
one of the-
pools, I think.
Well, that would be that could go bananas. Like I would make it a very individual. I would make it very individualized, not nearly as many dice, and it would be like I said. I'd have to have a reason for it, and I think what I would probably employ it in is something strange, like the Dreamlings or Beastkin or something like that, but make it specific to one of
Right.
the actual archetypes as opposed to
Someone who can mess with reality in some way or whatever.
something along those lines. I'll have to think about it because, like, I like it, but the systems as they stand now are they're still working really well. So I don't want to sit there. It's like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Is kind of my
Right. It's like
But I
poking
do-
the bear, right? No
right.
need-
Yes, but I do like where that was going. Yeah, it's an interesting way of doing
You're
it.
still showing as Destiny 2 right now.
Oh yeah, let me fix it.
Oh,
I fix.
maybe that's how Inky joined us.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like, oh,
Inky's
someone's
like,
playing
I'm waiting
I
for
fixed.
some
Destiny.
deeds
What's going
too.
on?
If that's the
Maybe
case,
Inky joined
if
us.
we,
Maybe.
if
It's like,
Aha!
oh, someone's
Inky's
playing
like,
I'm
Destiny.
waiting
for some
What's
deeds
going
too.
on?
if that's the
Maybe
case,
Inky joined
if
us.
oh
That's
god,
the way
oh
you do
god.
it. You
Yeah,
just
maybe.
do
If-
some- just like,
Aha!
someone's
Inky's
playing
like,
Destiny.
wait,
What's
some
going
deeds
on?
too.
if that's the case,
Hot
if,
tub channel time.
oh
Hot
my
tub
god,
channel
no.
time. I don't think people want to see our manly men chest.
You guys have no idea what that
True,
just
no.
happened. I went into something and then all of a sudden it was just nothing but our conversation just rattling around in a positive feedback loop in my head. So it sounded like we multiplied into the hundreds because for whatever reason my Twitch wasn't muted like it was supposed to be. So I just did that and just like rambled on. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, go on. Ken, years ago, I had a friend who Ivar's character is roughly based on like a few different people, but I remember we went over to a friend's house and his parents were like, "Make yourself at home," and his twin brother said, "No, dear God, no, don't tell him that," and he started taking his clothes off,
Oh God.
and then went and sat on my buddy's mom's couch. She had a new couch not long after.
Who was that?
Um,
You know what? Never mind. I
The
don't.
good doctor.
Ah,
The guy's a doctor now.
well,
point of order,
yeah.
real quick. Sorry, couldn't help that. We didn't determine what Thunder Clash actually did.
Oh.
Oops. Sorry, guys. No.
It's when you jump up and then
And things
Man,
blow.
it-
Okay, so it's a nuke I win button. Great. Let's go back to that boss.
I told you I just been playing Kirby. That's what happens when you use the fire and you jump up and then do the fire attack and he like dives down. So Kirby's playing D2 apparently.
It is fun to do that.
Oh, this is what I like.
Oh.
Okay.
Chomping on
Okay.
Waddle Dees.
So why don't we let's focus in. So the main thing here is that everybody was kind of snapped up in this conflict. Things weren't going well. Then they got worse. Ivar managed to create a scenario that was probably worst case evolution, period. But we just don't realize that it could have been worse than that. We noticed that the technocracy was going to be injecting themselves into this fight, and everybody was of the mutual opinion to get the living fuck out of there. Which was a
GTFO.
Yeah. And that was a wise choice.
Jekyll and X were both apparently infected with some sort of technovirus.
That's right. You
And
guys got
Edgar.
that weird Hawkeye Ultron arrow.
Well, they're not the only ones who start having problems as Ivar starts to double over in sheer agony from something. You guys don't really know what, but he's starting to move out of the way, and then all of a sudden he just crumples up.
Well, Riv happens to have 2 powers running currently, psychokinesis, and one of them is going to be bodily moving Ivar.
Yep, you'd be able to do it. You've got enough.
Is Ivar able to speak at all, or is he in such pain that
he's able to speak. It's just you're in a lot of pain.
What's his danger sense doing right now?
Well, it's kind of erratic. It's kind of erratic. It's moving about in all different kinds of locations because it's being focused on you, then broadly focused, and then being unfocused entirely. It's difficult to orient.
Okay, so and right now, Riv, you're carrying me, or your gauntlets, golem's carrying me. What's?
She's carrying you with her mind powers. She's got psychokinesis running right now.
All right, I'm gonna take this in a whole different direction. Ivar just keeling over right
Concern.
now is in this blob-like state. Think of somebody who is so drunk that they're at that state where they're just apologizing as they're yakking.
I'm sorry.
Exactly. That's Ivar right now.
Oh my
He's just
god.
sitting there going, I'm so sorry. Ivar, son. Ivar did not mean to bring this. And he's just in between this pain. That is Ivar right now. He's a blubbering, whimpering, apologetic bum on the street.
Well, and you're being levitated to destination as everybody is trying to make as quick an exit as possible. So Jekyll, X, and Ivar all have the same problem. The difficulty is because X and Jekyll are not human, they don't have the same exact effects, but they are limited in certain ways. But Ivar, you're definitely struggling against something that feels like it's like a chaotic poison, and it's starting to fester inside, and it's being pumped around. It's going to take you a little bit to be reoriented, but whatever it is absolutely horrendous. Like every nerve ending is set on fire.
Ivar's finally got the hangover. It's finally arrived.
Outsider syphilis.
Outsiders. Not the. Nope. Okay. Erasing that memory. Moving on.
Mind bleach.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the whole thing with Jim Carrey, like, deleted. Like. Yeah. So.
If anyone else looks like they need to help, the golem is also going to be instructed to do the fireman's carry.
Yeah.
Since he's short, you know.
Yep.
Short but strong.
Keep having to like clear my throat out. Apparently, smoothies just don't react well to the back of my throat.
Clarification here: was the technocracy pissed at us, or was it just Neodyne and Asaka?
I mean, everyone's
Or-
pissed at us at this point.
Well,
I think
I
it was
would
mostly
definitely tell you that High Dynamat,
Technocracy.
Arasaka, Neodyne Industries, and the Technocracy, all 4 of those are not your friends. And it's either by association, like High Dynamat doesn't like you because you're in association with Dark Sun, and on and on. But
Oh, and also because we like stole their cool robot.
there's a number of reasons. Plus, the Technocracy was
I
in
don't think
active
they know-
alliance with them, so...
Did they know that was us?
You don't know if they do or don't. So here's the issue. You guys are running off the docks. You finally managed to get broken free of that strange sort of trans-dimensional barrier that was causing all kinds of warps, distortions, and like matter bending on the inside of that. And when you get on the outside, it's kind of like you're looking at this almost iridescent, wobbling bubble of reality as it's basically being bent and chaotically reformed. It's more or less, for Ivar in particular, if he ever actually manages to get past his own eyelids, having them probably squeezed shut tight from the agony, if you ever catch it, you realize that what you're staring at is nothing but raw paradox. It's sitting here in the material world where it has no business being, and it's creating all kinds of havoc in and around itself. You guys managed to get out before you hopefully getting any kind of like permanent twists, but the technocracy in all of their air vehicles, approximately a dozen if not more, start laying out some sort of pseudo-technological mystical element that is maybe akin to, it just looks like beams of light, and you can see certain solidifications of reality that are starting to happen in and around it. And it's causing that disruption to sort of get condensed inward and pushing in. But you guys are hightailing it at full speed. Jekyll, of course, acting as further assistance as well, trying to make sure that he helps anybody who stumbles or can't move. But you manage to get inside of the area there where the warehouses are all sort of stacked together in that labyrinthian type area. And you will be able to get to the main roadside that enters into it, and you can get Alex to move the vehicle into a position where you guys can just kind of pile in, and then Jekyll will, go on foot elsewhere.
So this is basically that scene in any game where it's like you have 250 feet to exit. Good luck.
Yeah. We booked it.
I like it.
We hoofed it out of there.
Yeah. You're hearing a thunderous cracking, a lot of something that almost sounds vaguely like a sizzling sound in the air. It's a very, very, very uncomfortable kind of sound. And when you guys finally get to a point, Alex, is somebody going to contact Alex to have him move, or are you going to try and run to where he's at? Because he's not on the direct thoroughfare through these warehouses on the docks to get to where you need to be, if you're looking for a straight shot out.
That sounds like a job for Barrick for the logistics. He's always calling up Alex.
True enough.
Well, and I think I was on the other side from you all because I had done my sprint and all that. So you all were having to negotiate going past the weird thing.
Yeah, you were ahead of the group on the retreat.
We all made it past it though, as far as I'm aware.
Yep. Yeah, you guys all made it out. You guys were running out and around because you all decided to ditch, and it didn't decide to do anything about you. Of course, you're not sure if that's because it didn't realize what was happening, or if there was something else ongoing, but it didn't try to stop anyone. It was just too busy feeding.
Yeah,
So
so
is engorging itself.
Yeah.
Barrick is gonna call up Alex and operator. We need an exit.
Oh my god.
And meanwhile, Ivar is doing the great scene from Goonies. And then I was in the movie theater, and I went, and everyone started throwing up.
It's one of the best things ever.
And Agent X is going through the paradox in his head of why this group is still alive. He's collating the data and going, I can understand why
not
two of their
compute.
members have died. How have they not all died?
And then the best.
Well, if you recall, Barrick has told you he has died.
It's like, how have they not died more?
Right.
Ivar will die one more time.
Alex is like, okay, I'm incoming. I'm gonna have to come in low.
Yeah, it's really hot.
He's like,
Technocracy is on their way in.
yeah, I kind of saw that. Incoming, 15 seconds. And you guys are just going through, passing buildings back. It's still in the middle of the night. You have that, the opaqueness of that smog-covered sky just reflecting orange on the way down, and then you hear what happens to be perhaps the sound of combat or something similar from where you were as things kind of get unleashed. It then becomes extremely apparent by the time you guys see Alex drifting down from low altitude just past one of these warehouses right in your path, the door sliding open, and the larger vehicle is now ready for you guys to pile in. But you hear the crackle and explosion of what seems to be one of the technocratic AVs being hit with something and then going straight out of the air and landing on the dock, perhaps. Can't really see exactly what's going on, but you do know for a fact that it's a vehicle that's being taken out. Just advertising the fact you got 2 monitors, using the hell out of it.
It's got every second like portion is all filled up.
Thank you, Drew. All right,
I forgot
so
what their gauntlet was called.
Yeah, Young Goflar.
Yes.
you guys pile into Alex's vehicle. He's just turning around, looking over there. You've got this big glowing light that's kind of out there at the docks where you guys once were. He just kind of looks at us like, you guys really know how to tear this shit up, don't you? And
Not my choice.
like that, it closes up. Jekyll just comes over comms. It's like, I'll meet you back at Rally Point. See you there. And, you know, he's just gone. He goes running off foot. You can hear his boosters kick. And, yep, he's just moving real fast. And then, you know, the magnetic thrusters kick off, and you guys are up in the air, actually going into stealth, because this particular AV, if you recall, has actual, like, the electrochromatic paint, enabling it to go into full optic camo. Alright.
So about how many minutes have we been out of combat, you would say?
Right about now, we've probably hit about 1.5 minutes, somewhere in there.
Yay!
Cutting
I
your
get
regen.
1 health level back.
All
Yeah,
right.
so we beat feet
Mhm.
out
Yeah.
of there.
Firestorm comes over comms for a moment. He's like, "Are you guys okay?" Like, just straight up asking.
However, this
Some
one
values
time,
of okay.
This is the
this
AI.
one time, this other
Firestorm.
bomb and I, we went
How
to
have
another
they lived
bomb
this
and we
long?
traded his drink with urine. We thought it was funny. It wasn't.
Oh,
He
he's still
keeps
going.
on talking. I don't know how to make it stop.
Yeah, I don't know how to make it stop either. I've never been able to make him quiet. But then again, he doesn't really get on my nerves like he does for everyone else. This is kind of like one of those scenarios that I have to emphasize the sheer threat level. Apparently, you managed to stir up the Hornet's Nest. The one and only. They're actually still sending out reinforcements. Now, I can only ascertain this through guesswork, but I think the technocracy has definitely culminated into a singular location for a very express reason. What happened? I lost all forms of feed, and I couldn't even see anything from satellite. Something was causing a massive scramble.
I was trying to save my friends. You see, the bastard and I used to drink all the time. I thought I could bring him back.
I miss Colt.
He broke reality.
Wait, what do you mean he broke reality? Like, literally?
Oh, I believe he gets, as they say, better. He broke reality. The outsider vampiric demon kind that we were dispatching then fed and enlarged itself and is continuing to grow. The technocracy is responding and, well, wasting resources. So this is a win.
Can we call up
2 birds in 1 stone.
Richard? Like, I feel like we need to get some more brains on this. Is what we're asking or saying.
Firestorm's just listening to this. It's like, yeah, I might actually agree with that quite a bit. But, wait, hold on. I've got an intersecting transmission from home base. It's Vasile. And it pops up, and you can see on that plaque, the screen, he's just sitting there going, what the hell happened out there?
We had it kind of under control, and then Ivar went nuclear.
Well, good news is that the other
Riv
2
leans
teams
over and says,
involved.
I think you mean nuclear.
Vasilis just takes a nods to this and goes, clearly there are some things to explain, but I'm not going to argue with results. It looks like our northern and southern teams were successful, though not quite so elaborately as yourselves. I would imagine that this is probably going to cause some serious damage for, well, a lot of different enemies. I'm not exactly sure what is going on still yet. No satellite feeds coming through, and Firestorms already started to inform me that Ivar broke reality. I see. Well, whatever the
Has my
consequences
data feed been going anywhere since?
like, what are you
know,
expecting to
since
see? Just
before
basically like
Douglas?
recording and the rid of it?
Yeah, like, am I still streaming, or is there like no?
It's
since
still
there's
there.
No
Yeah,
Douglas.
there's always a
Next up on
there's
Halo 5, Demonic Hellbeast is...
yeah, so like your stream is always active, but whenever you were caught inside of that reality shift, whatever that was,
Right.
it just kind of went like that and dropped out. So
I watched Batman today, so I'm loving his like contact lens thing.
yeah.
That's so cool.
Oh
so-
my lord, what kind of Golgothan?
No, that's is that Weird Science?
It's Chet.
I'm just
It's his
I haven't
older brother.
I haven't seen that in so long. So yeah, he's like, all right then. I'm issuing rally points. Jekyll is already on the way. I'm going to make certain that you have some kind of bolt hole point within the next 10 miles. This should put you at least at enough of a distance just within one of the fringe areas where the territories are no longer in dispute. I'll have to give you further orders from that point on. I do believe that we've managed to push out one of our primary combatants. It would seem that the Sightless One has been wandering about and making himself known in certain areas. I believe that he's responsible for some of the troublesome issues that you've been dealing with. And I know now exactly who he is. After his arrival in my home, to which you were all witness, he was the first one to have escaped and actually killed a friend of mine. So, we need to make certain that we strike very quickly. I've been able to localize his whereabouts. More details later. And he just cuts the feed. Then
Ivar
Firestorm.
Know
takes-
where we're going.
Ivar takes a really deep breath at this point, and you just see him grab a bottle of vodka, and he just drains the whole thing and goes, "Well, that was better than I thought."
As he's still like,
Riv snorts. Yeah.
go ahead and make another will essence check there, Drew. See if you can push past
What was
this.
my target?
It was 9.
Okay. -1.
Yikes. Your luck will have restarted. You are out of combat, so if you wish to adjust, feel free to do so.
I would like to play it.
Alright. You're still in convulsing pain, but it has died down. It's not nearly as bad. Oh my god. I don't know what to say. Alright, so you get rally coordinates.
You keel over and you die.
Yeah. You get rally coordinates. Alex manages to drive everybody there. Firestorm gives you a short, or at least a brief broadcast of what has happened. And so it looks like the territories themselves that you had meant to attack were successful. The southern team, who was further along, they had higher casualties than the two of you combined. Clearly, you guys were the ones that walked out the most unscathed, despite the crazy.
Yeah. We just destroyed the entire shipping industry in that corner of the city.
Well, so there seems to be another added bonus here. The level of attraction that this has garnered with the Technocratic Order is very bad for business, and there's a good chance that, especially between X and barrack in particular. You guys will be kind of savvy that any kind of hostile takeover in the physical sense will be even more hindered as the technocracy will hover around in these areas, monitoring for any kind of deviancy, and they're not going to hold vampires any higher than anybody else who uses magic or any other kind of supernatural talent, which sort of wound up being, again, the best possible fuck-up ever. So
basically, we have our enemies keeping our enemies in check.
Exactly that. The technocracy is going to be watching for anything out of sorts, and they will start to bear down on any kind of like vampiric influence in those areas, and they will be ruthless about it. So, as far as reinforcements are concerned, they've been effectively cut off for at least a short period of time. And that means that a singular strike is going to be necessary, which is why Vasile was so urgent about going to rally instead of actually going back to base. Accurate. So the rally point's approximately 12 miles from where you guys had started at that point. You go further westward into Night City, and it's one of the more low-end fringe... It's a fringe zone because it houses a condemned part of Night City that's considered to be a combat zone, but it doesn't have nearly as much action as it does further northward. Dirty hoe. You touch base. Your explicit instructions are laid out so you can go into one of these condemned buildings. It's only about 3 stories tall, has no real working windows. The whole area and space is kind of littered with, the homeless and, the drug afflicted. They're kind of pretty predominant through here because you can see where they have their huddles and all the rest of that, including the burn barrels. It's not a good place to be. This is where a lot of the sediment of Night City has managed to collect. And when you step inside, there's a bit of a difference. Yeah, go ahead.
As we step by into these homeless bums with a little streetwise, is Ivar able to recognize any friends that he may once have known or any associates?
Well, you're kind of you're kind of in the Daedalus Belt, which is not your primary stomping grounds. You might know some people. They do move around. But you're at a -2 for any kind of check that you're going to be making given your circumstances.
Okay, so he would have a 10. This would be +8.
Wrong mix.
He's just got a 10, looking around to see if he can sort of gather any information of like, hey, homeless bum on the street, are you aware of anything that's going on?
All right. They don't really seem to be terribly coherent. A lot of them, like I said, seem to have been horribly afflicted with all kinds of chemicals. Most of them are kind of spazzed out. You can see that their life and significance has been reduced to this kind of trash that's sort of floating around on the inside of the curb of the streets and everything else. So, they... and sometimes you even get hostile responses, even though you look like you're part of the whole deal. It's just sort of like, fuck off, man. Like, basically just nobody wants to paying any attention to somebody who's just randomly asking questions. Fucking Adrew. So, you step inside of this building. Alex is kind of leading the way. Now, he finds a place to land the AV so that it's not visible to the street, and we filter in. What is interesting is that this is a true bolt hole in every sense of the word. When you come inside, the interior of the area there, it looks like it's fully pushed out, condemned. You've got settling garbage and other refuse that are sort of in the corners and collected at certain points. You have the structural, like, load-bearing beams that are kind of holding the upper floors up, and they're just kind of naked and exposed, and most of this is concrete. What you come to around its middle part, there is what looks to be certain service entrances or maintenance hatches that are available. One's completely blown out. The other one looks like it's utterly fused shut. But that just so happens. I don't even know what I'm looking at with that. I don't know what. It's got no pants on or whatever.
Bitch.
Yeah. The hatch, like I said, appears to be welded, but as it turns out, that is just some of the aesthetic in and around it. So it appears like it can't be opened, but it wouldn't be able to be pried by hand. You'd have to have some kind of electronic, digital access, which Alex manages to push through. He's just kind of shaking his head. It's like, this is intense shit, guys. Like, he just lays it out. There's a slide that pops open. He ends up using the key code, and the hatch will roll open like this, and you can see the welding points are all along the outer edge to where it lays on top of like the metal frame within the concrete. So it appears, like I said, it appears to be sealed shut, but that's where the fake kind of gets exposed.
Nice.
So when you come down
Into a
in,
vault.
yeah, more or less, you guys go wandering down inside. Jekyll has not yet arrived, but you do hear a familiar voice whenever you get down the main steps. So you go a single story down, which, just kind of like a basement almost. But in here, the things, the entirety of the interior becomes more sanitary, becomes extremely clean, well constructed. The lighting is in good shape. You don't hear any generators, so it must be sort of siphoning off of any kind of local power grid that they possibly can. It's possible that they may have started to run pirate lines that came from other parts of the city that weren't in good shape and ran their own lines in and through to just siphon off. So this place is kind of better than top secret in a sense. But you come into one of the main rooms there. It has the first main chamber with security checkpoint. As you guys are coming in, you see a taller figure, gruff, and he's just wearing t-shirt, jeans, standard boots. He's got like that square jaw, and you recognize him immediately. It's Dravis, who has been kind of doing other work for a while. He's like, holy shit. You made it.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah. I mean, I heard that you guys are going to go out, but I don't know. The shitstorm you guys caused out there tonight, that's something else.
I mean, do you expect anything different from us?
Nope. I would say probably more casual, yeah, but not different.
Ivar was holding the reality football and he had a fumble.
Yeah.
Ivar's really sorry about that.
And
Do
you
you guys
can
have football? Does that even make sense?
Oh, I've caught a couple of games since I've been here. So I got the reference. I picked it up. Good to see you, man. Like, he claps you on the shoulder. Still strong as ever. Although you're just kind of like, you can detect the strength without actually feeling like it's pushing you around. But, yeah, he's like, well, this is one of several other bolt holes that Vasile seems to be keeping in general practice all throughout Night City, especially around in the Daedalus Belt and the Central Hub. So he likes to keep his influence in certain places. This happens to be one of them. Moreover, there's these sightings. Here, let me just show you. Like, he goes walking down, so he walks past that point down a hallway. The area here, the square footage is fairly large. You're seeing that there are at least 2 or 3 multi-set sleeping quarters. You have a fully fledged mess hall with all the necessary equipment that you might need: fridge, stove, all the cookware you might possibly require. It's all set up. They have a command center and laboratory as well. And he comes walking into the command center point and just starts, getting everything going for you guys so you can see what's going on. And my thing is just blowing the hell up.
What's blowing up?
Oh, I know what's going on. Oh, I'm just getting bedinged to death.
Oh, because of the other server.
Yep. Putting it on mute because it's like, "Ba-dip, ba-dip, ba-dip." It's like, I'm not that busy right now. I don't know what's going on. The command center is
This is
set...
like a proper setup. It's not like, a bunker.
No. Although you're pretty sure there's a storeroom or something of the sort in here so that you don't have to leave. It's probably capable of supporting anywhere between 15 and 20 people for a month, maybe 2 months, without any trouble at all.
Cool.
So, can you make that will check again there, Ivar? Because you're still kind of like doing the shutter thing. You look like you're basically detoxing off heroin.
Everyone's like, yes, 1987. Or I guess like
1987. He's like over 100 years old.
Yeah, no, never mind. 2067.
It's sucking my will to live. Yeah, I fucking love that movie. God damn it.
3 degrees of success for
yeah. So the pain is finally beginning to ebb away, but you can hear whispers of familiar voices in the back of your mind, which the interesting factor in this is that they are not your hallucinations, and you know that for certain. There is this very peculiar sense of clarity about what your hallucinations are and what these are. And those whispers in the back of your mind have started to crop up, and they're very subtle, but they're there. But they do not belong to your hallucinatory regimen at all.
Is he able to discern what they're saying, or does he need to roll to figure out what?
Oddly enough, he'll probably
him?
need to spend a little time actually practicing something he rarely ever does, which is actually meditating a little bit. He might be able to get there.
Oh, he hasn't done that. He has not done that in a while. Ivar just kind of, stumbles around and just goes, "Where's the John?"
You can see Dreyfus just kind of like indicates with a finger. It's like, that way there, you little gremlin.
and Ivar just like a ship is swaying as he makes his way to the restroom.
For a good reason. You piped down an entire bottle of vodka.
Vodka.
Yeah. I'll just make a will essence check again. We'll see what you get. And then for the rest of us, of course, Agent X, you're going to be somewhat impressed by the setup because you're looking at some fairly state-of-the-art hardware. It's got a multi-Hydra full landscape setup with everything you might need in order to do security feeds and the rest of it. Good job there, Ivar. The best part is that it seems to be tuned in and tapped to all necessary true information that you're aware of, even including, which Barrick will recognize, various chats and all kinds of feeds from Hunter.net. So, and the room is somewhat dimly lit. So you're in here, it's sterile, but you're looking around at all this stuff. And Dravis is like, okay, here we go. So I think our favorite sightless asshole has a tendency for the dramatic, and he's been showing up in this general vicinity here. Now, I had to kind of learn about this, but in near towards the center of said Daedalus belt, you actually have Daedalus Tower, which is this massive statue that sits as an intersection between every major freeway going in all directions throughout Night City, period. He seems to be here. Now, we can't figure out exactly why, and he's only been making recent appearances, and I mean really recent. And he's allowing a lot of this video footage to show up, because normally we can't track him on any kind of video feed, but he's showing up everywhere, all over the place. And it seems that he's definitely transdimensional because he can move from point A to point B with little to no trouble. We've tracked him across almost 6 or 7 square miles, all with various kinds of street camera footage.
I mean, Daedalus Tower's a liminal space. Not surprised that he's attracted to it.
I'm not certain exactly what his plan is, but it just feels like trap all over.
Absolutely.
Shortly after we actually got news that you guys were going to get visited by Big Brother out there, he started showing up here, making himself known, almost like a calling card. And in certain cases, in a really creepy kind of way, he's like brings up some previous footage. On the main part of the screen, Yes. On the main part of the screen, you can see where he's wearing his 3/4 length coat. He's just got the indentations where the eyes should be, no lids, no sockets, no nothing. And he turns sort of eerily at the camera, looking right at it, with only the smallest of a smirk on his expression. And then he kind of walks out of frame, but you catch him, and this seems to be intentional, winking out of existence just as he leaves frame. Like he's basically making fun of or playing coy with the fact that he can do these things. Now, Dravis brings up one other point. Here's the part that I don't get. He's doing that, and we've had this footage active, not archived, this whole time. Netwatch hasn't done anything. They're not getting rid of it. You can see a response for anything unusual, supernatural, or strange. It usually gets wiped in minutes. It's still here. The response is too slow. And he's looking over at Agent X at this point, and he's going like, "Yeah, we've never met before, by the way. Sorry to not introduce myself. I'm Dravis."
And he's just like bent over, looking like glasses down, looking at the screen the feeds that are going across, and says, "Hello." And he puts the glasses on, and you just see the feed go and says, "I do not know your deviancy.
He's from off-world.
What is this one?"
Well, I guess since we're all showing each other our hand at this point, I sort of like, oh, I've heard this term before. Not since I've been working with Vasile sort of independently, but I did actually hear about this. Deviancy. Are you like some kind of like turncoat, like black hat and mirror shade or something?
No, I am true to the faith.
Yeah, Barrick's gonna definitely chuckle at that.
Well,
Some deviancy is necessary.
let's just put it this way. I used to be called an Eldritch Knight, make of that what you will, but I'm not from here. I just happened to get here, which happens to be better than where I came from, so I'm sticking around. Anyway, that's not the point. I'm certain that if you have any kind of familiarity with this... What'd you say your name was?
X.
X.
Agent X.
Okay.
Yep, we found someone more mysterious than you.
That's fine. I don't mind being not mysterious anymore. Alright, Agent X. I mean... If you're rolling with these guys, then you've got to have some kind of insight on this. Thoughts?
So he's gonna roll a tactics.
Okay.
Let's go to that part on the character sheet. Oh man, this new sheet's... It's not 15 pages.
I think Colt doesn't miss Colt that much.
No. I mean, I miss Colt, but... no.
There we go. Well, you got a 1
Doesn't
though.
see shit.
Yeah.
Let's use
Don't see shit, Captain.
a luck. Let's
We ain't
boost that.
found shit.
Oh, Tuvok.
Yeah, just 1d10
Yeah.
to boost.
You're gonna explode it, or you're gonna boost it. You're exploding it. Got it.
Yeah.
All right, so that puts it at 18. Now, mind you, you're working on the newest sheet, so that looks small, but that's actually pretty great. So you're looking this over, and he's right. You are familiar with the way that this works. Deviancy is combated on all levels. If you actually have anything that shows up that cannot be properly explained through technological means, which most of these little blips and stuff like that, you can basically say maybe the frame cut out or there was a frame loss, it's too easy. But some of the footage you're like, you can't fake that. And even though there is a good way to do deep fakes where you can mask or conceal all sorts of digital overlay, with digital overlay in particular, this wouldn't fit that genre. You'd break it down into its base components and it would definitely come back as being true footage, which would be an immediate red flag. the watchhounds that the technocratic order uses all across all across cyberspace as a whole, the link is not an unfamiliar territory. In fact, it is probably one of the strongest territories that the technocracy inhabits. This latency that they are demonstrating is unconscionable, and it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, which means that there is another problem, a deeper one, and their response to the situation would indicate they are at full force, yet there seems to be a certain inherent weakness visible, given the fact that they cannot control another one of their primary realms. This is right up their alley. So it is of extreme interest that they have not shut down these feeds or repurposed them.
He just, he leans in and he goes, "Oh. Well. It seems that the technocracy is being challenged within its own realm within the net, and have yet to be able to combat this. You called it the eyeless one, yes?
Sightless.
Sightless.
Same
Thank you.
diff. The Riff was like, safe diff.
This outsider seems to be contesting with the technocracy within the net itself.
I don't really understand the outsider stuff. Like I said, I miss Colt.
Who does? Like, what the hell?
It makes me wonder if, because of their precarious presence, like existence within our reality, if they've, somehow figured out how to make their videos exist. Like, I don't know. I'm thinking old horror movies. Watch this video and you'll die in 7 days. They managed to get emotion embedded into a digital file. So maybe it's not interstellar. I don't know, interdimensional, whatever they are, can stick somehow.
Well, I can tell
Where's
you.
Void?
He's
Would Void know?
Cocks his head and goes, "That's a reasonable theory to extrapolate from. Yes.
It's a shit theory, but I got nothing else.
No, there is merit."
Darius, or Dravis rather, is just sitting back, like leaning back in his stance, looking at it. It's like, well, I can tell you right now that interdimensionality doesn't seem to stop. As a matter of fact, seems to kind of open doors. That's why we have Firestorm running around right now inside the entirety of the link in and of itself. It's not to say that your theory doesn't have any merit. I don't know how much, but it's a little disturbing to see this system break down the way that it has. Although it does kind of present secondary opportunities. And what the shit? Like that, he goes into it like looking a few things over. He makes an intercom check and he goes, "Hey, Surge, what's all this crap you're just shoving into my screen here? I can't understand a lick of it." You hear something pop over the side. It's like, "Yeah, sorry about that. Just wanted to get your attention, so I'm basically having to DDoS your screen because apparently you hyperfixate. That's not the point. We've got another big issue down here. It's like turning into the Wild West." Clarification? Well, I would say that
It's high noon.
we're kind of seeing a certain explosion of, I don't know what you'd call it, looting, maybe? I don't really necessarily have a non-link version to reference, but I've got the ability to kind of maneuver around and get to where I need to be without being hunted down so heavily, and this has caused, it's caused a kind of disruption. One that I think that probably a lot of hackers have been looking forward to seeing. But it's happening really suddenly, and I can't explain it. So, yeah, here's this. And when you're looking at the screen of the person who's talking, shit you not, they look like they were cast straight out of Tron. Because they have...
I was going to say, we have the Net Guardians are down. All the Defender
Well-
apps are offline.
Well, he's basically he's got the thick plated uniform with all the different like accentuation and highlights and everything else like that. He even has that sort of faintly gray blue coloring on his skin, and he looks sort of painted digital like in the old style effects. Like he's got that whole look going. And he just happens to have a yellow coloring instead of being blue or red. But he goes with that yellow color. And he's just looking around at everybody else. You can notice that there are cameras in here too, whenever needed. But he's just like, oh wow, you got the whole crew in there. Yeah, you should have everybody look this over because this is exploding and it's going to get worse. Probably not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, you got the idea. He's like, it doesn't feel like a bad thing, but my instincts are going crazy. Something online has changed, and it's changed radically. Anyway, I'm going to bug out. I will hit you back as soon as I get back from some of these other gates. I've got to make sure that I'm not traced. So, easy going. Like that, and you just see go buzz out. Dravis takes a couple of looks at this. He's like, oh, Jesus. We're seeing a huge statistical surge in Data Fortress breach looting. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good way of calling it. It looks like a lot of different hacker teams are starting to move around, and there's a lot of free data in the mix.
Hack the planet.
Yeah, I mean that's their motto, I guess. But the weird thing is that how are they able to do this? Netwatch has been so good at cracking down. It's the same problem as this video footage. So,
Is it civilian level only, or
it's spreading.
is government open?
I don't think it's hit the government yet. But this is something that's hitting on the corporate side, which is kind of a lot worse. There's definitely a cockeyed element here. And I don't know, this data is starting to make my head hurt. All I can tell you is that...
Can Barrick make a connection and explore?
Sure. Do you have, like, you can roll on on any skill that would actually be relevant. It's not occult. I'm trying to remember. Because your profession would give you insight.
I mean, I've got interface.
That's specific to when you're online in the link.
Investigation.
Yeah, that would probably be your best one to put things
All right.
together. Right. I remember.
Okay. That exploded. So 29 investigation.
Like he starts to put it the fuck together.
What are your L5C? Everything.
That meme's exactly what hit my brain, dude. All right, so you start to put these pieces.
Personally, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of that scene in the Batman when he's like putting all the pieces together on the floor of his like house.
Right.
Like you're telling me the maids don't walk by at some point and go, "Oh, Master Wayne."
Yeah. So you start to. So you gently request for terminal access. Of course, Dravis is like, yeah, whatever. And you start to kind of put some things together. Now, here's the crazy bit, is that with that kind of explosive investigation, you start putting your techniques to work because of your comprehension of how, because, on the cyberscape, this is where all of your investigations would begin. So you start looking for anomalies. Now, it's been a while since you've had to stress that particular skill and in this way, but it is extraordinary how much faster you're pushing it together, because you're going accumulate. The data is coming down and you're being able to access it at rapid speed and being able to connect dots and make inferences where you normally couldn't at much faster rates than you used to when you were still like even a veteran in the FBI. But you start to compile this data together. Everybody's kind of left waiting for a moment, roughly 6 to 7 minutes. Ivar's still on the toilet, by the way.
And you hear a...
But he starts... So this is the crazy part. You start to put together from low-tech BBSs that are littered in throughout cyberspace that take on virtual form. And you start hitting up old-fashioned forums, using resources from Hunter.net and throwing together a compilation of what looks to be one simultaneous rumor that starts to be tested, and then tested again, and then tested again. And it looks as though there is a certain kind of, the one place that most everyone in this whole team has left aside is cyberspace. And it looks like there are monumental changes that have been undergoing for some time now. And you start piecing together the dates, and you realize that the dates between the supposed arrival of these outsiders and some of these inertial changes that were coming through coincide. That parallel isn't already frightening enough with the fact that there seem to be whole new virtual realities that are coming through that are comprised of millions upon millions of solid interactive objects that can be used, abused, rebuilt as if something was, like a very powerful artificial intelligence was in control. And
oh god, Firestorm. Oh no.
And
He's gone rogue.
So, these virtual realities started to show up all over the place, and they started to have unique characteristics, meaning that usually in the net in its old days, you could only move in lines either parallel or perpendicular and all that other stuff, and then within the virtual realities, you could interact with, within space and time in a much more standard way. God, those are classics. The dilemma that this presents is what is creating this, and you follow that rabbit hole all the way down, and it starts to have all the inherent evidence that you would get from any of these outsiders and their influence. So something has invaded cyberspace, and more than that, it looks like it has caused a mass level disruption that has just recently occurred, and it waited, and it seems to be strategic, because with forces and all kinds of things going on out here in the physical world, cyberspace has always been the domain of the technocratic order. You even know that, especially after what you've been through. Their lack of response is unheard of. And now you actually know why. Because you can see all kinds of unknown and rather dangerous forms of black ice being reported everywhere, but only restricting itself to certain entities, avatars, or associations, mainly those of higher authority, which is very, very peculiar. So something happened, and a full-on rebellion is happening in cyberspace right now. So when you pop out of that sort of pseudo brain deep analysis, that's what you get to dump on everybody else.
You after she explains it all, it's like, can you too long didn't understand any of that for me?
Do you remember at the turn of the 21st century, do you remember the concept of memes? Richard Dawkins, mimetic transfer of information that gets iterated upon.
Sure.
We're seeing that, but with black ice, which is an intrusion counter that can kill its user. So, essentially,
Black Ice was just a security program, like hacking.
Well, it's a countermeasure. But what we're seeing is essentially a sentient net born on the backs of basement hackers and data jockeys who were all primed to hit at the exact same time.
Sounds.
We're not talking global market crash, but it's keeping the technocracy busy, at the very least.
I mean, that sounds great. Like, this is awesome. Good news for us.
I mean, good news until X needs to tap in for his latest BIOS update.
I have been separated from the network for some time.
But it does show that the outsiders have a much more horrific level of control than we initially realized.
These
I
fucking
mean, yeah,
things.
Riv is not like a a Luddite, but yeah, she doesn't. She only knows like the stuff
Big
that her
bada
contact tells
boom.
her. To me, I mean, to her, the way it just was described sounds like it's like the memes. Like, I see this as an absolute win.
Right? Yeah.
The Hulk, Professor Hulk.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys are in here disseminating this information. Some people scratching their heads, some people not. I see this is an absolute win. Ivar, I'm assuming that you're actually like meditating, or are you like
While he's on the toilet. Plop, plop,
Oh, Chuck,
So-
I missed that show.
So Ivar, I think, just kind of stumbles in the restroom in the dark, finds the John. He purges himself a little, kind of lets the cool air
yeah,
of the toilet splash him on the face
right.
as he rides the porcelain crown. And then as he gets up and he's feeling better, he realizes he has to take a dump. And, like, just something's calling him. And so he sits down.
Oh,
and-
no.
Oh God, not
Ken.
this again.
Yeah.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
good. Thank you, Bill.
That's going on right there. He is deep in convulging himself.
I'm adding it to
But
my
there's
favorite.
also
Boom.
a realization
I'm gonna have to
that
do the
he is
same
receiving.
because I'm a sick, twisted bastard. Jesus Christ. All right. Anyways, God, it's the hair on the ass that kills me.
Oh, it's the zits on the ass.
I just love that he pops out of the feet to grab the ground. Like, it's just everything's so perfect about that.
Oh, that show was great.
I'm fucking grabbing the fucking tile. Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, so as he sits down and he's in that calmness of this dark room, and he's relaxing and he's doing his business.
right.
He's going to invoke his medium to see if there's anybody out there. Because these voices he knows are not his hallucination, but he needs to just... Ivar made a mistake, and he realizes it. Even though it came out to the group's advantage, Ivar knows that something is very not Ivar. And
Yep.
so he is in his medium to see if he can find some truth by talking beyond the veil.
All right.
I like the music choice. Very horrifying.
Oh, why am I not hearing the music?
I do not know.
Yeah, fix that shit.
It's just very quiet.
Guess you have to just turn it up. I think you turned it down last. All right, so you begin to space off. You try to call on your medium to try and help you out, and then you have this kind of like sudden lurching moment. Just roll a standard will essence check. It's going to end up being DC 8.
A target 8?
Yeah,
or
target
just
8.
the-
Sorry, I got wrapped up in my D&D thinking DC is a D&D term.
Difficulty. Check.
Difficulty class. Anyway,
Class.
We
I
have
don't know.
4
I think D
degrees.
says your difficulty.
okay. So yeah, you suddenly feel this lurch, and you're just kind of like that, and you're pulled into some kind of vortex or tunnel or something, and you can feel a familiar presence again for the 4th time, I think, that this has happened. But you're sucked into this, and you're getting hit with that kaleidoscope of sickly green coloring and that feeling of being sort of like detached from your body, which has happened before in the past. When you touch down, despite how rapidly quick you're traveling down this conduit of strange lights and the rest of it, there is this sense of of like almost partial nightmare and partial reality kind of coalescing, and you're standing on some kind of stony surface, and there is a pathway that leads out towards the back end. There is a single solid crystal that is there at the back of it, and the surrounding cavern, which only has dull illumination similar to this but allows you to be able to see everything as you need it, is vast. It goes down on the sides of this. It's more like a pathway that's more close to like an oubliette, because you can't reach the sides of the cavern. It's too far out. They are in a perfect circular tunnel-like formation, and if you were to go off the edge and plummet down to the bottom, you'd be going at least 80, 90 feet down. And
so he recognizes this is not quite the safest thing to go off the path.
Right. Behind you is
cool.
a set of stone closed doors, but there's a crystal up ahead. The thing that captures your attention, however, are the strange elongated headed figures and skeletal structures that are all embedded into the stone and seem to be large creatures, almost like fossilized xenomorphs in a sense. And they all have this, they're all sort of interconnected, like you're staring at millions of years old fossils of races and beings that didn't exist.
Demon Reach.
And in a subtle mist that appears right directly in front of you, the sightless man actually shows himself.
The fuck?
Hello,
If Riv was there, that's what she'd say.
my name is Ivar. How are you?
He cocks his head to the side. It's such a strange thing to have this inquiry given our meetings, but I suppose it will do. He comes moving towards you, but while he walks, he's moving faster spatially than his singular steps could provide, so it's like he's walk sliding in your general direction.
And as he comes towards Ivar, is Ivar feeling any sense of danger? Is he like,
Not
no,
exactly.
this is totally cool?
Not exactly,
Yeah.
no.
Okay. Okay, that's kind of figured he was in this sort of a Zen state, and he's like, so, how can Ivar be of assistance? Perhaps we can work out a deal.
I wished to speak to you in truth. You still wish to make some kind of parlay even after I've made the attempt on your life.
Ivar does not hold grudges. It's bad for health.
Bad for health. That's funny.
Yes, would you like some vodka?
I do not need vodka, though I appreciate the offer, I suppose.
Ivar has this incredulous look right now of like somebody not needing drinks. Like you can't trust somebody who doesn't have a drink. Well, we seem to be here. I take it you were the one whispering in back of Ivar's head.
You are correct. I've been waiting to have this conversation with at least someone who can understand what chaos truly means. Waiting very patiently. And it
Chaos
seems
is
that
a
I've...
beautiful thing.
Isn't it? He's like walking around your person as he's making these statements as well.
And Ivar is slowly like making his way to this crystal because it seems to be a thing. So what do you wish to speak of in this chaos? You know that chaos cannot be left fully unchecked. It must be balanced.
He just gives you this really wide, toothy grin. You can't really determine if it's something that you would consider to be evil, or if it's just something that would be considered chaotic. And he's like, I am madness made form. I am chaos given breath. I am absolutely and utterly eternal. And this place that you are now wandering in was my prison for a great many millions of years.
Beat a buck.
This is where you were placed? Doesn't seem too bad.
Try existing in such a state of static agony for this long.
I can see that being a bit of problem. Doesn't seem like you can do much here. Not like place to hang curtains. So I'm wondering here. Ivar just wants to know, like, who put you here and for what reason? Do not people like you?
What does it matter? Gods, heroes, other entities, maybe even other outsiders, as you've come to call us. We really don't have any particular name, or maybe it was our own madness that forged itself into order, because what else can be more chaotic than your own self-destruction, in a way? It doesn't necessarily matter. But when we broke free, your world was a playground full of juicy and exotic delights. And we
I do say there are lots of delights in the world. I personally indulged in many for a long time and ended up in streets, not very fun, but then I met this group that I'm with, and they've been pretty entertaining for Ivar. I've even picked up a few of your friends.
He nods his head. It's like, I know of whom you speak. He is no longer my concern at this time. My concern is you. My concern is whether or not you might actually consider something. An offer I've made more than once, and I'm here to make it again.
What do you have to offer to Ivar? I'm a very simple man.
Again, you just give him a bit of a grin. Or at least he does to you, rather.
A dopey grin.
Yeah. It's like, if it is the delight that you seek, or experiences unlike anything you could imagine, that is the door I wish to open.
You want temptation?
No. I am giving you temptation with a legitimate offer of benefit.
You
So
mean like
cinematic.
Riv? Riv once gave benefit to Ivar. It was very nice, but things have not been same since.
I can give you a lot more than some sort of misguided attempt to resurrect you, using some kind of childish erotic display.
I think he's missing Ivar's base level of entry. Childish erotic display is like
Yeah.
top shelf.
So what was he offering? I didn't catch that. This is just me to like write down.
He
make sure I
hasn't made the
understand
offer exactly. He's just made a hint that it is beyond his understanding or comprehension.
He's-
Experiences go
Okay,
well
okay,
beyond
so
it.
I thought I missed something, but no, I didn't. Okay.
No. I mean,
I was being dense.
I know I'm taking it generally in the sense that this is the offer of temptation. Ivar has always sought the higher truth. He tried to understand. And we got to recall in Ivar's backstory, when he touched upon the truth, that's what splintered him from reality and instilled into him a sense of chaos. And that's why Ivar is, in many ways, Ivar is an agent of chaos, but he doesn't do it in a malicious way. He just kind of does it.
Yeah.
On a side note, as Ivar's having this conversation, which seems quite entertaining, and he's trying to be utterly polite because that's just what you do. He's also very intrigued with this crystal. If he wants to know if it's anything like the crystals that we've created, like almost like, am I in the inside of the crystal? Like, can he discern?
Oh, that
anything of
crazy
it?
lattice work and all that stuff that we saw.
Yeah.
It looks like some
like,
kind
is there
of dark geode. And if you had to put money on it, yeah, it does seem to bear a rather striking resemblance to your prototypes. Yeah.
Does he need to do an occult to see if there's anything he can glean from it that could help them in their quest to perhaps strengthen those crystals or use them to be like almost like, so this is how you broke out of it. Let me see where that hole is and plug that.
Yeah.
Fucking dark crystal.
Right?
So, you can make the occult roll. And while you're contemplating this, he's standing there and he just cocks his head against, like, always struggling to see what is there behind the curtain. See, it was not we that broke free the prison. It was others, like yourself, who in error managed to release us.
Well, Ivar does do things like that every once in a while. I feel really bad. I'm really repentful, but you want to know it's kind of what happens. So you are willing to offer Ivar temptation, but at what cost?
What is it that you consider to be cost, Ivar? What?
Ivar has sacrificed much over the years to get what he has. He's lost many a good friend.
Well, it is not sacrifice I request. No sacrifice need be made.
No. Then how can I help you?
He just grins again. All I want you to do is accept the offer or not. You have the small seed of my servant, allowing this connection to make it possible. That burning in your skin from earlier. It won't be long until I actually reach out to some of the others.
You mean that's not herpes?
Man, he is testing the patience of an otherworldly being. I love it.
It's very Ivar.
Dormammu.
Of course, it's also Ivar about to like coin flip to like defect. So
when it asks you if you're a god, Ray, what do you say?
It's not herpes.
Oh. Ivar must consider. You are offering him a lot without giving him much knowledge of what he is to be given.
Knowledge.
It seems to be a bit of...
Knowledge. It is not knowledge that I offer, it is experience, true experience, real experience. Something that can be known, but is not knowledge to itself. And you, above all of the other companions you have, should be able to comprehend this. So it is a choice.
Ivar's doing a bit of a tactics roll here to see how much does he comprehend this idea of experience.
Go for it.
Just a 13.
Well,
Not
tactically speaking, this seems to be genuine as the offer goes, but you don't know what his response is going to be at a negative or a refusal. Doesn't seem like it's going to be terribly good, whatever it might be. So you are at least in a mental way, in a psychological way, you're prepared for something to occur that will not be great. But you don't know what sort of element he's going to pull if you refuse, and you don't know what sort of changes will occur if you accept. So it's kind of a, you know that he's an agent of chaos, 100%. What it means if it gets inside your head is utterly unknowable until you're in it, and there's no way to ascertain benefit.
Ivar's being given the temptress choice.
Choice.
from an agent of chaos that we have already seen has done a lot of damage and a lot of harm. And what has Ivar and his friends been doing for these last few years is trying to contain chaos to a reasonable, fun state. Ultimately, morally speaking, Ivar, though he uses chaos and he recognizes its place, he also recognizes that chaos has to be tamed. And so Ivar just kind of, this whole time, he's staring at him. He's looking at this crystal. His thoughts, this kind of drool coming out of his face, a bit drunk.
Yeah.
And Ivar's like, this is a very nice offer. I greatly appreciate you think of Ivar in this. But right now I'm trying to take a shit. So if you don't mind, I'd like you to piss off with your offer. I don't know if I can accept it at the time, but I will entertain it.
All right then.
You've disappointed me.
Then experience is what I offer even in refusal. Enjoy. At least you'll have an understanding, something you might be able to use. And when he steps away from you, he just kind of vanishes, and you don't move out of your current placement. You'll have to make a will essence check once again.
Same target.
It's going to be 10, actually.
And this is where the DM finally gets his revenge against Ivar. At which
Getting
point
everywhere.
Ivar fails, and a Golgothan shit demon is arisen in his mighty poo.
I actually
Yep.
think
Long the DM has
outsider
suffered
just
from Ivar's
trapped
pooing.
Ivar.
This is a magical
They're gonna go
moment
to
for him.
I feel like they're going to go in the bathroom. There's just going to be a turd in there. No one flushed, but there's no Ivar. Ivar is going to take some luck. And what would it? Oh, I can bump it up and hit a 0. How much luck would it take for me to be able to re-roll?
Well, I mean, if
To
you
not
explode?
if you boost the 1, that would be like no, it would be at a 0, right? And then
Yeah.
if you explode, you would have an opportunity to roll other 10s. And of course, all of the ones that you explode, like you don't have lucky, correct?
Yeah. No, I don't have lucky.
Right. So
So an explode
how
is
much luck do
3,
you
and a
have?
boost is 2.
Right.
9.
9. So you could do 3 explosions and see if you get any 10s.
So we're bumping the 1. And
Oh,
then
excuse me,
using
I'm
the
sorry.
rest for
You
3.
could do 2 explosions with that because you'd only have 1 point remaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 explosions
we're-
and a
we're-
boost.
Yep.
We're bouncing up to a 0 with 2 more rolls.
Okay.
But so if he explodes, right? So that's going to add on to the 6.
Well, he's going to explode. When it comes to these die pools, they act as separate individual rolls. They don't add on. So in other words, he gets
Okay.
another opportunity to roll it again for
At least they
another
can
success.
Roll 2 extra die.
Yeah,
Right.
Ivar just kind of sits there and he's like, that
Burn
did
all
not
his
go
luck to
like
roll 2
Ivar
extra die.
wanted, but and he reaches in, grabs a shot, kind of shakes it off, and
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God.
Ivar's at a 0.
Christ. All that luck just gone. And then
That was 8 points of luck, folks.
yeah, so you're standing there, and then suddenly you find yourself sort of frozen in place with the shot right about here, locked in. When you start to look around your space, you can see the faint shimmering planes of various geometric shapes surrounding your person, and you're frozen solid. You can't move. There is no sense of feeling at all in your physical body. You're just stuck there. And so you're in this room, dead silence, no sound. You don't even feel yourself breathing. You're just locked into place. And you have these odd geometric, slightly transparent planes all interconnecting around you. And you recognize its shape, seeing the dark geode-style crystal in the back end shimmering just ever so slightly more than what it had before, and you realize that you're locked and imprisoned, similar to how these entities have been locked and imprisoned. Oh, good lord, that is awful. Jesus, Bill. Jesus. Oh my god. I can't fathom the I mean,
It's like when I told someone that as an adult, you have so many psychological barriers in place that you actually can't pee your pants unless you're incapacitated, like even if you tried. And then
feel like
30
that poor
seconds later,
person
he's
has
like,
an
you
enema."
ass!
Jesus. I'm surprised at the bulge. Like that was a lot very quick.
What? I have to
That was
think.
an
I have
enema.
to think that
That's-
he's putting his hand in there. Like he's
Right,
just
like
pushing
that's
his hand, and he's pulling his hand out as he's getting up. Like that's how I'm going to accept it. But it's really funny.
That's
There's
not the
no-
story I'm going with.
Comes out. Have you guys seen the shit pita? Oh, let me share that with you. There's a whole video about it, so I'll send it to you.
I am sorry.
So you're sitting there trapped, screaming in your head, unable to move, unable to feel, unable to do
locked
anything.
inside syndrome.
So you're frozen in place, unable to communicate, and you can't reality shift, you can't do anything inside of this area. And you realize that you're perfectly ceremoniously entrapped. Which is far different than what you would have expected in terms of the response that this creature would have wanted to give you. Alright.
And Ivar's just sitting there and he's like,
This is nice. I like
I
this.
really want my vodka.
This is fine. Everything is fine.
Time to get super spiritual.
And so is Ivar able to look around at all, or is
He can move.
completely
You can
frozen?
what your field of view can handle. That's what you can take in. But you can physically not move in any direction or any part of your body.
But Ivar can think.
Yes. Yeah, your sentience has not been removed. You're still there.
Wow.
Yeah.
The JoJo fate.
So we've
I'm
been.
going to presume that ends Ivar's turn, and we will come back to him.
We'll come back to him. Yeah. Everybody else is in the midst discussing what is going on with all of this, and Visile
So
decides
then there's
to.
a concerted effort among all the hackers to take down the net at the same time. Hey, where's Ivar?
I don't know if I want to check that out, if I'm being honest. Dravis just kind of folds his arms again.
Barrick just looks at Riv.
Did you just do not it?
Yeah. You very much did.
Oh, I hear the music now.
Okay, so Riv is gonna use one of her gauntlet runes. She grumbles. She's like, ah, fuck. She uses the rune because she's hoping to get something like teleport, so she just pop in, pop out, kind of thing. But instead, and by the way, she had her other powers she'd gotten rid of, obviously.
Yeah.
Let's see. I've got 6 left, so now it runs 5. And she's gonna start using mana sink
Yeah.
to absorb mana in the nearby area,
Sure.
and then she's gonna just pop into the bathroom, see what she sees, hopefully sucking some mana out of him.
That sounds different than it should. Yeah, you pop in there, and what you see is inside of the small bathroom, you just have Ivar slumped to the side, absolutely unconscious, and there is this kind of gray pallor to his skin. He looks cadaverous.
So
Oh,
before
Elvis on the
she
toilet.
makes this, before she thinks this is just a glib thing, she's gonna do a quick skill check.
Yeah.
Because I think if I walked in on someone like Ivar just slumped against them, it's like, oh, he just passed out. Like, yeah, fine. You know what I mean?
Closes the door. The party just ignores that Ivar is still passed out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right,
I
you'll
think-
check.
Is it? It wouldn't be first aid, would it?
First aid would be a good one. Yeah.
Just
To make a
see,
visual assessment of what's going on. Yeah.
yeah, just to see if her brain's like, something's not right. Kind of
Oh
thing.
Jesus.
Uh-oh. Oh God. Wait. Oh God. That's so painful looking.
Oh, I'm having flashbacks to Bill at the movies.
I know. I hope that person's dead. That looks like a corpse.
Speaking of corpses, I got an 11. Does Ivar does Riv
So
register
even
anything?
even if you're used to what Ivar is normally like, within all spectrum of his absolute grotesque living habits, the sort of ghoulish look of his skin, the fact that his eyes are rolled up into the back of his fucking head, and that he is clearly,
his eyes are open. Okay.
well, yeah, he's unconscious, but he's just kind of like this, and it's clear that something is seriously wrong.
Okay. And is his pants down or no?
It's not really sure if he's even ever worn pants, because he's kind of in that robe.
Robe is
Oh,
part of
is he
that.
unrobed? Oh god. So she creeps a little closer. She's like, guys.
Oh my god, why is it always Riv that has to do the gross thing to make sure that Ivar's okay? Like,
Yeah. So she reaches out and like just places a hand
God
on
damn
his
it.
shoulder. So she puts a hand on his shoulder. She's gonna activate another rune as well.
yeah.
Golem, go check on Ivar.
Oh wait. Did I? Oh. Oh. I'm stupid. So what I rolled earlier is not Mana Sink. It was Granite Skin.
Oh, well, okay, you're just really, really, like, armored up. Got it.
Yeah. Or I could have been intangible. I feel like I should have been intangible, but she didn't. I can't use knowledge I just gained. Like, okay,
Right.
Anyway.
You just
So
got
granite
granite
skin.
nostrils.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, it makes sense. If I was gonna see someone in the bathroom like Ivar, if he threw something at me, it'd be great to be able to just not take any damage. You know what? I'm gonna use some luck and re-roll that. I want to. I get my rune.
Oh.
So it's gonna-
Visualizer's being weird.
It's not. I'm not technically exploding it. I'm just re-rolling it.
It's thrusting its hips.
It was.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Y'all are putting absolutely depraved shit into the chips, and you're going, the visualizer makes me feel unsafe.
The stick figure visualizers.
All right. In her
Sexually
second
threatening.
rune, she's gonna activate regeneration, which is good because she was damaged.
Yeah.
But that doesn't help anything here. So anyway, she touches Ivar and does a shake, but
No response, and the
Um,
skin is clammy.
did everyone hear me say "guys"? Like in the
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
warning,
You hear
like,
it the
please-
second time, because she's like, guys, like...
So Barrick's gonna go in.
Yeah, you find Ivar in the same state that Riv is trying to work with.
And he'll do first aid. So 18 first aid.
Thank you so much, Drew. Jesus Christ. Oh, that's perfect.
Right, it's just catatonic. So Barrick's gonna like do all the visual sweeps and then like aura sight.
Oh, no, Orsight might
Yeah,
be good.
Aura Sight will be helpful. The Aura Sight is probably the most disturbing because you actually see that same corrupted aura all throughout his aura, in fact. You're seeing something of chaos rippling through him, and it wasn't there before, but it is definitely prominent now. And it is localized on something subtle inside of his body. As you can see from the core of him, there is this sort of welling sphere of it, and it just oozes out to the rest of him. And it's very similar to the creature that you had fought out there on the dock. You happen to notice the injury he's taken, and there seems to be a concentration of that same putrefied aura there as well.
Alright. So he's gonna Riv. I think we need to help Ivar.
And she's sitting there. She sounds okay, but she actually looks quite disturbed, or like. And so you see her as like, I'm trying, and then she's using another room. She's just burning through her rooms right now.
Yeah,
just seeing if something comes up. Let's see.
Hey Dravis, can you get in here and give us a hand? I can't touch him.
So he comes looking at it, he's like, Jesus. Like, yeah, just a second. Literally goes out, gets latex gloves the whole 9 yards, and starts, like, getting him, making
Very
sure...
thick.
Well,
We need to...
Well, oddly enough,
we
he
need
actually
a table.
has... Yeah, he's got a fair degree of medical training, so he ends up pulling him out, making sure that things are not broken or like there's other injuries or anything like that, and manages to take care of some certain necessary cleaning, but then moves Ivar out into that co-opted laboratory, which happens to serve as also kind of a sick bay of a sort, and lays him out on the table, and he's just looking at him. The armor that he keeps sort of out is now being materialized around him, and he starts looking him over. He's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm picking up. He's infected with the
Hepatitis.
same corruption that was in the creature we killed that set all of that off. So...
when Riv is near the edge of the room, and it's like, I can't do anything, and like she had activated super strength, and she has granite skin on, so she's like full Hulk mode. She's like it's a, so the whole place is gonna shudder a little bit, like, even though it's super like.
Poor Riv.
This is actually kind of hilarious. It's the first time that her stuff has done little to nothing of worth in a situation that was necessary.
Which would be very frustrating for Riv, because it's always come through.
Well, I was looking for the 7. I wanted to get the power I haven't activated yet.
Bullets flying through the air and Riv goes intangible, right? Like...
Yeah, I could have been intangible. Like, I could have walked in and like not been able to do anything period. But, yeah.
So...
It's interesting. It's an interesting character thing for her. But she's like... She's always been able to help. Or do, like... She's always been to shoot her way out of a problem. Or punch her way out of a problem.
Right.
This time
right, or teleport grenade down somebody's shorts. Yeah.
That was an epic moment, too.
We need to
Ivar's
get
aura is
whatever
almost
this
done.
is out of Ivar before it takes him over. But I don't know if this is something that can be cut out, or if it needs energy. This is outside of my skill set.
Actually, this is well within mine. I've actually seen this kind of thing before. Not like this, but I've seen something similar. He's like, hey,
And
Agent X,
can he
you got
like
expertise.
show his aura sight somehow on like a tablet
Like
or
project
screen? Or
it?
Well,
something like
you can
that?
actually record it and broadcast it. So, I mean, because you...
That's what I mean. Like, can he like tap into a feed so he can like look what I'm seeing?
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming that they can't see it.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that,
whatever.
and whenever he does tap into that feed, because there are monitors that are inside of this area that are used for all kinds of things, including tracking vitals.
E-security or cyber tech roll?
Huh?
Is it going to be e-security or a cyber tech roll?
What, to offer up some expertise once you see the monitor?
Mm-hmm.
What's your occult? Should be fairly high, right?
He has no occult. He's investigation and cyber tech e-security.
Interesting.
So Barrett's gonna
I built
occult
him in.
and
So in this case, you
medtech.
actually don't have anything to offer about this specific issue.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So Barrett's gonna do a double occult and medtech.
All right, go ahead.
Hey, D, I actually found something we can do.
Yeah. I see that you went, oh!
Well, yeah, she did that in the game. Yeah.
Okay,
So
so,
while you guys
18
do your
occult,
rolls, and I'll tell you
17
what I do.
medtech.
All right.
On a quick side note here, would his pendant that prevents paradox be of any use right now?
Doesn't fit within Paradox at all. This was an
Okay, so-
orchestrated, orchestrated psychic attack.
Yeah.
So, D, what I'm gonna do is, like, in her heightened, like, kind of mental state, she realizes that based on what everyone else has been saying, that what this thing is kind of outsider related. Like
Yeah.
before, when she's just seeing a cadaverous thing, what the hell? But now that they've been talking about this and saying, all the corruption and stuff, she's going to not just call but scream for Void to come. Like she
You're
is
gonna
summoning
scream
him.
into the void.
Got it.
Scream to the Void.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See if
right.
the Void talks back.
Okay,
So,
so 18 occult, 17 medtech, and then Riv
And
doing
then
her thing.
I think that's a will check, right?
Yeah. Will Essence check.
Essence check. Okay.
I'm glad to know that Agent X cares so much about saving Ivar right now.
Oh, he's fascinated by the
It's
like,
like,
he just hands
probability
behind
of
his back going,
success increases with the death of this one.
What's the target?
It's going to be a 9, which is actually a lot harder than usual.
Shit. I got 3 of them actually. I'm gonna bump the 1 to reduce one of the. Or I'm gonna boost the 1.
So the secondary one doesn't even count. The first,
the first one.
yeah,
You're gonna boost
Yeah.
it to a 2.
So
To
luck
just-
equals 7.
right. So you need one more roll and then to push in for your. Oh no, the one more roll is already taken care of.
It was
So
the 1, yeah.
So you
I
got
don't know
3
why it says the result
successes.
of 1. Oh, I put
Because
targeted.
it counts. It counts. The
Yeah,
one
it counts on
that
explosions.
Oh,
it counts
I
so you
explosions
have
that
to
fail.
you have to deduct it.
Yeah, it counts it anyway.
Oh.
We don't.
Okay, that was 3 successes then.
Yeah. Just looking at that, 3 successes, easy. Digital dice,
That
not
may
always
wanna be-
accurate.
I was gonna say that may want to be mentioned in the CRB. Like, you count the ones only in this situation.
Oh yeah,
not
that's
in
that's
this
it's
situation.
it's put in there. Yeah.
It says it fails on an explosion. Don't count.
It's not
Uh.
a violent explosion. It's only helpful.
Right.
You start reaching out to Void, and everybody inside this bolt hole feels a shuddering sensation. You've got like Dravis kind of like looking up, going like, "Oh shit, I'll be back." Like he goes running back to the command center. While you were trying to summon him out with your occult and medical, you were trying to ascertain. So it looks to you, based on some of the information, the occult roll is great because you can now parse back to your hunter.net days, and it's clear that what he's not under a mystical attack of any kind. This one is very strictly psychic. And that inherently must be a weakness for him in a certain way, because he's not able to somehow or another get out of it. There seems to be some kind of a lock in place whenever you're starting to watch how this all pulls together, because it's like this secondary aura has this firm grip over his physicality. Oh my god.
I like that.
So, Dravis, I can give you some information about what I'm seeing, but this appears psychic, even though it's maybe got a physical anchor.
And he's like,
from
that's
the
understood.
attack.
Something showed up here.
Riv
And-
like just pushes past him and is like, let him in, let him in.
And it's just like, well, I don't know, wait a second. And he goes to look up there, it's like, Jesus, is that who I think it is?
Yeah, let him in.
The hell? Yeah, just a moment. We can see him kind of clack away and offers up the ability to come inside. When you go running back to the main stairwell where you guys could come down, Void is stepping inside. He just kind of looks down. There's a sense of visible discomfort as he's trying to go down into it, and you actually realize that there are small runes that go in all of the corners, and every piece or square of tile seems to react to his presence. It's not stopping him, but it's making him very uncomfortable as he's stepping inside. It would appear that some of these places have been retrofit with kinds of with certain sorts of countermeasures. And while he's coming down, he finally gets down to the bottom of the stairs. He's like, "I heard you calling. What do you need?"
Ivar needs help. He's under an attack from one of your friends. She says frantically.
right?
I was pregnant.
Oh my god. Hold on. But he does that, and the moment that you actually make that declaration, there is this sudden thundering sound as a second figure now emerges, and it just rushes towards the open gap that was being left open as Void makes his entrance, and you hear the rushing and like partial like roar of something that's kind of moving this way, except for it slams into some sort of non-physical barrier just as it gets there. And you all can see that the Sightless One is there, but he's not holding in his standard form. There is this really surreal, massive smile on his face. And all he does is stare straight down with those, like, non-eyes. And he's like, "Found you!"
And then, so this is a very impulsive thing. Riv is gonna like, excellent, and then she's gonna jump right at him.
Oh god.
And, like, gonna punch.
Jesus Christ.
She's got granite skin and super strength on right now. She's
I know.
Like, I am ready to fuck something up.
Nice.
Yeah, so she goes, "Excellent," and goes right up there. Boyd's like, "Wait!" like that as she's going up the stairs, and it is literally 4 minutes before the hour, so I have to stop it there.
Nice.
So,
Love the cinematic nature of that. That was brilliant.
What I loved was watching Scott and Drew do these skill check rolls.
yeah.
To like, it's like, oh, we're going to be doctors.
Yeah, but you think about it, an officer of the law, this is something that wouldn't be out of his realm.
No.
First aid. I mean, I know how to administer naloxone in real life. It makes sense that.
I can shoot you 7 times. Don't worry, I can save you. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Take your finger, plug it in the hole.
You know, the interesting thing is that yeah, I think he would have shown up anyway because he knew where Ivar was. He just needed someone to open it up a little bit.
Yeah, kind of. You know, you
Which
can
is what
easily
Riv
make
did.
the leap that obviously that was there, but, you know, Void's been summoned in, and clearly this place was retrofit, but, you know, it's so funny. Riv is pulling the classic, we have this perfect fortress, who cares, let's go meet the army on the outside of the wall instead of just using the wall. Like...
She's not in a good state of mind.
It's Riv.
Yeah, she's acting into her impulsive disability for sure. Like, she's playing that disadvantage to a T.
Yeah, if I was playing normally, I wouldn't have done that. Like,
Yeah.
myself, like, knowing what I know.
Well,
No, but I think
even
that-
better is that her stuff still managed to work in her favor, just not for the original moment.
You know, that's the best part is, like, as a cinematic moment, it seems like everything was going wrong for her, and then it's like, this is what it was for. The game was telling me what was going to happen next.
No, it's
That's
the
all I was
whole
thinking of.
thing.
Is those little things from the Matrix
Yeah,
that are like the little
Yep.
tracer program that's in Ivar's stomach.
yeah. Well, and the thing
So-
about that is that you guys don't encounter psychic attacks all that often.
No, and when we do, we fail them very, very badly.
They've gotten past Ivar before, and it's the beauty is he takes it, and just this time he came across someone who was much more powerful than he was, and I think it's a
So-
beautiful.
I want you guys to know that Riv right now has 33 body and 134 armor, or 149 armor across everything, and 134 for her head. So she's
Nice.
ready for a physical throwdown.
Riv is the Jane Foster Thor.
Who apparently has cancer.
Mm-hmm.
You know. God. I think the best moment to speak, because the Hellraiser GIF just brings me back. I fucking love those movies. I don't remember if it was the second or the third or the whichever one it was, but Pinhead shows up and he's standing behind, like, this kid's like 8, and it's like the nephew of this woman or her son, I can't remember which, but family. And he's asking for help. He's like, she's like, don't hurt him. He's like, oh, what appetites we could show him. And that's the most corrupted fucking statement I've ever heard any villain ever make about anybody. Like, not just we're going to screw him up or anything else like that. No, we're going to show him how fucked up he can really be. And we're going to make certain he loves every second of it. Like,
Which in a sense was the offer you gave Ivar.
Yeah, more or less,
The best kind of offer. Like, Ivar, come join us.
Yeah.
Like, you could have it all.
Okay,
Think how much fun it would be.
Video that Ken shared.
Yeah. Well, he's
Think how much fun it would be to destroy things.
It's
Ivar.
funny.
just to be uninhibited, because destruction, not destruction,
Video
wouldn't matter.
is restricted. What?
What are you doing, Scott?
When I clicked on that video, the link, it said it was restricted.
Oh, you have to open it in. You can't open it in
Yeah.
Discord.
You have to. No, opening it in Discord works, but clicking the link to open it in YouTube said
that's
it's
weird.
restricted.
That really is haunting my thoughts.
Oh, man. Well, okay. That was a shitload of fun. I'm going to be looking forward to next week, for sure, because this shit's going down, and we're bringing the heat and just tumbling it down.
I was wondering, D, if I could get. I'd like to actually like absorb Void as like one of my partners or connections,
Allies,
or whatever.
connections, yeah.
Allies,
Well, he is a connection, technically, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
so I
you
can
can.
use my IP for that.
Yep.
Because like it's like I want to formalize it as like I've used him 3 or 4 times now, and we're at least in her mind they're buddies. Like
Yeah.
she doesn't. She's actually like put aside, or maybe the fact that he's been in her brain has put aside the fact that it's an outsider, so she should not. But
Yeah.
Strange bedfellows,
Yeah.
Yep. Well, and this is going to be very interesting because we are amassing multiple fronts of warfare. It's getting to be pretty tight.
I know, and I think it's time Ivar starts using some of his IP.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's
Jesus.
sitting on 364 IP
Well,
right
he's
now.
got
you're a
he's
you're
got
the
some
best
time to
adaptation
think about it.
possible.
Like,
Ivar's just gonna ascend and have his apotheosis.
I mean, this is
Dude, you know what'd be cool?
it's a
is
growth
to-
moment.
It'd be so cool to be able to activate it to like because of her faith in herself that she activates true faith. Like she gets that thing as she's attacking this guy.
Right.
Yeah, you believe in yourself so strongly.
I'm my own true faith.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
true faith doesn't tie strictly to some Christian god or anything. It just literally ties to a true faith of some kind.
And
So-
that is
I'm
perfect
good enough.
grip.
I'm smart enough. Gosh dang it. People like me.
Oh man, that's a PTSD for
Yeah,
D.
that's seriously. Gosh darn
It's
it,
true
people
faith.
like me. Anyway.
He had to do that every day for the stand-up at Hawksoft. We had a really bad manager. It's like, yeah, Bill, he was you never saw him. He was gone.
Nope.
Like almost right after D was gone. But like, he was a manager, and every day they had in their stand-ups they had to do, "I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me." And he'd make you do it until everyone said it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, and he was also the one that sat
this-
directly behind me, and if I even farted, he'd be like, "Brrr," like that. Yeah, it's like, is that work related? Like, Jesus.
Yes, in fact it was.
Yes, that's how I relieve my tension. Does true faith provide any protection against psychic attacks?
It says you're immune
Yes.
to directed supernatural abilities that attack your mind.
Yeah.
But you didn't have it activated at the time.
He did not have it activated at all.
You were taking a dump.
I mean,
Ivar shit the bed,
You're-
quite
you're-
sincerely.
Push the evil out. It's like a psychic bidet. You just like
Oh my god.
cast down.
gross.
Oh, Jesus. Alright.
You know, I think I actually might do that. I think I might actually like, because Riv has been in a situation so many times where she's like just a stone cold badass that she's gonna have that faith in herself, and she's pretty pissed off.
All I know is that is turning out to be one hell of an anime moment. It's the whole screaming Super Saiyan bullshit.
Saitama.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's exactly how it's freeze framed. Like we literally cut to the perfect away for like a cut, like a next
And then
time.
it's
Oh, yeah.
like because we have like the soft intro, or we have like the hard intro, and then like our outro music is like. Do, 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 do.
Dude, you guys have listened to Roundabout, haven't you?
Yeah. I believe
Like that
so.
song.
Yeah.
Like in the series, the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, every single episode in the first like 2 seasons, like they started playing the start of the end song during the episode, and so you'd hear the cool guitar sounds, and then it's like right before it kicked in, it was like to be continued, and it was like, oh yes.
But the scene played itself to it. Like the whole action of tonight played itself to a to be continued. Like we're running away. Shit's really bad. We come in. Hey, it's not as bad as you thought it was.
Shit
Somebody's
was involved.
mocking you, and this is the best kind of awful.
Yes, indeedy. Well,
And we are now down a player.
when a big fight has to come in and Void has to go in and save your ass. Hopefully.
I mean,
Oh,
I
no,
think
I
that's
wanna-
a pretty good idea on Riv's part. Like, the only way to fight someone who's already been part of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I thought it was a very good one because I was already contemplating my next character.
I've already made it this far. I'm good. Like,
He's a Southern gentleman. He comes in all in white, and he's just gonna whoop some ass. And then he
He's
leaves.
Southern, like Night City Southern, because that means he's from Florida.
man, it's crazy how many people have
Florida
like
man.
been smoked in this campaign so far. Like, there's some serious
Yeah.
risk. God.
Oh yeah.
My theory is that you're just going to slowly convert us to the new character sheet by killing off the characters.
That would work out,
Well,
but
I
that
just
wasn't the plan.
No, I mean it's you offered Ivar the ability to a temptation from a power of an outsider, and Ivar said no.
Yep.
And now he's got to pay for it.
Oh, I just love the direction this campaign takes. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's fucking fun. That being said, I'm going to release our audience here. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back on, or at least I will be next week, and I'll be trying to fix the problems with Destiny 2 so that it doesn't look like trash, and I will see you then.